Welcome to this week's video discussion. Today we'll be talking about assessments. All right, so for my topic, I've chosen the oral examination on a VOR. The way I want to start this is by making it a scenario-based oral quizzing. So we're going to start with a presentation of a VFR cross-country scenario. That is the best way, in my opinion, to talk about VORs, because that's the only time you'll be using them, is for a cross-country flight or an approach. So we're going to ask the applicant to explain their strategy behind how they're using VOR during their cross-country. We'll also be using pilotage and dead reckoning and also GPS, and we'll build it from there. So a VFR cross-country scenario is a great start for this. We'll do that the day before, just like we all probably have done during our check rides. Next, we'll quiz the fundamental knowledge of the student. We'll use questions such as what, hows, whys, and wheres, and we'll go with what is a VOR and how does it work. That's how I would like to start the quizzing, even before we talk about the scenario. And we'll ask them to describe a VOR and classes in different volumes, and how do we identify a VOR station, and what is the indication of a VOR signal reliability, and we'll just ask them to explain their limitations. So here we would want them to tell us as much as they can and as much as they know without any help. And if they need any help, we can guide them towards that, either just give them a little hint or allow them to use their textbook. Next, I would like to ask them about what they do during the pre-flight in regards to the VOR. They already should know how a pre-flight is done, and we just want to know what they're checking. Are they checking the logbooks to make sure that a VOR inspection has been completed? Are they going to check the VOR on the ground themselves if it is expired? And what are the different ways that we can conduct a VOR check? Next, we'll be talking about in-flight operations and interceptions and interpretations. We want the candidate to explain how they would orient themselves using a VOR, and how do you fly to or from a station. We just want to make sure that they're able to identify the differences between a radial and a course, and what is the to and from indications mean. And what does a station passage look like? That is the biggest one that we want to talk about, and we also want to demonstrate this during a flight. And then I would go back to the scenario here. We want to apply everything that they've discussed so far into the scenario and make sure that they can actually understand how they would be applying this in real life. And then I would also like to throw in a diversion scenario in there and talk about weather and how they can use a VOR to find an airport to divert to, or how this whole diversion and weather would affect the usage of VOR and also terrain. Here are my sources, and thank you for watching.